Hello, welcome back everyone to our fourth instalment of the new, brand spanking new North to South podcast with myself, Craig, and yours truly,
Tom, hello
Tom.
everyone. I hope everyone's having a great week.
Yeah, me too. It's like winding up a bloody Jack in the Box hours. Welcome back to the show, or the show, or the pod, or the TikToks, wherever you watch. So we're going to be speaking about a variety of things today. The Premier League running has taken another dramatic turn. Arsenal stumbled to a shock away defeat. Manchester City closed the gap with a statement win over Chelsea. Liverpool decided they wanted to win this week, and obviously a few games of chasing Europe for teams such as Aston Villa. We'll break down the biggest moments of the weekend and performances, and Tom might have a little new feature for you as well. So let's get into it, Tom. Obviously, without it being biased, who we're going to start with, it's obviously the main game of the weekend and the biggest shock. It's Arsenal versus Bournemouth. But I want to say, is it a shock? Because I saw an Arsenal fan this weekend say, Manchester City unlocked the key for other teams and how to play against Arsenal. Now, I didn't notice this before. And I think who wasn't the manager of Bournemouth actually said in their press conference as well that Man City realised if they stopped pressing Arsenal want people to press them so they can counter, pass the ball back to Raya, who then is the main distributor to the wings. And that's how Arsenal keep catching teams out on the counter-attack, other than set pieces. I did not notice this, I'll be honest with you. Considering we got a football podcast, you'd think I would notice these things. And then when I saw the press conference from, I can't say his name, the Bournemouth manager, when he said, we just took the game to Arsenal and not invited Arsenal's pressure because that's what Arsenal want. That's why they keep passing back to the goalkeeper. Again, what are your thoughts on that? But also, what are your thoughts on the title race now?
Arsenal is. I think that's one of their tactics. Is they like to invite the team forwards, and then Raya can just hoof it over the top, and then go and counter. I mean that's been a mainstay of their tactics. I think. I think teams have started to figure out that tactic throughout. Well, I mean, like especially in the past 4 games because we lost the past 3 in the past 4. I think when Arsenal started to become a bit sort of nervous and a bit unsure of themselves when teams are really pressing them. As you can see on Sunday, the ball, Raya, I think, was the person who had the ball for the most time. I think for Arsenal's game, I think. That goes to show that even when they're pressed, they. I think in particular this game, Bournemouth were really good structurally as well. So they were the man on man, and they were very, very good at that. So it made it very difficult for Arsenal to sort of try and create. I mentioned in my TikTok video that our creative players are the ones who have had the most difficulties over the past season. So Havertz was out for half the season. So was Odegaard. He's been out for a long time, and Eze took a while to sort of get into the team, sort of first 11 and pick up form, and then he got injured, and then that was just around the time that we played the League Cup, and then the FA Cup, and sort of lost those 2 in a row. So I do think Arsenal's main problem at the moment is the attacking third. I think the defense usually is really, really good. I think, again, I mean, I hope that was more like an off day for Arsenal because they played okay against Sporting. But then it's like a different type. It's like a different type of play against the Champions League team, isn't it? Than their Premier League.
I just think the fact that the Bournemouth manager came out and actually said that as well, and obviously Man City was very good at the second half where they realised Arsenal. The reason Arsenal on the front foot were they kept pressing because Man City are known for pressing, and they realised Raya has the ball the most because obviously you can see the whole pitch. And then the fact that it just makes you wonder how Arsenal are going to not get frustrated by other teams, not understanding that, because obviously we'd expect some tacticians to know that already, but also to see how effective in 2 games on the bounce against the English teams.
No. Yeah.
No.
Well, I mean, yeah, it just comes as a shock, really. I think something that I've been thinking about is it the manager or is it the players? And I think it's a bit of a mix of both. But I think when the manager is, I mean, we hope that he's doing all we can to try and sort of do like a good pep talk at halftime and those sort of things, because that's clearly what Pep is doing for Man City, because they've come out twice now in like the second half and just absolutely dominated. So the first half against Arsenal in the League Cup, they were not that great, and the second half they came out and beasted, and the same thing happened against Chelsea. So I do see a bit of a pattern there. So I hope that Arteta's doing that sort of good pep talks and trying to get them motivated. But at the end of the day, the players are the ones who are on the pitch. And I think there's been a lot of talk about Arsenal's tactics being a bit sort of boring, and they play for set pieces and corners. And but I do think, because when you saw the game against Bournemouth, there's a lot of recycling, and that's been going on for the past season, really, is when they struggle to have the confidence to actually have pace and do a first-time ball in the box, then they hesitate and they come back and they pass it to the midfield, and it passes back to the wings and back to the midfield and back to the wings. And it's so boring to watch, and it kills the form, it kills the pace, it kills the creativity. I think that's what Arsenal need to work on, really doing more, is having first time passes, crosses into the box, so that Gyökeres or Havertz could have more chances at scoring. I think that's where the real difficulty for us will lie, because I think they're still very, very good in defence. I think against Bournemouth, I think they just slipped up because Bournemouth were sort of the better team that day.
Yeah.
So I would just say, I think most fans are still thinking that Arsenal can do it. So the target chance is like not over yet for sure, because we're playing against City. I think they are firing the engines up, aren't they? So they're doing very, very well. I predict a draw. I think it'd be hard for Arsenal to go away and win. But they could. I mean, I think they just have to come out on the day and just attack instead of trying to not lose. They have to try to win.
And I think that's been a story for Arsenal all season, really, is because I think when they say it's been a bit boring, it's not just how they're scoring goals or how they were winning games. It was also about where they weren't killing games off. You could say if they do become champions, they are probably, don't want to say the worst champion. You can't be a worst champion, but they are a champion that hasn't really excited as a Premier League team. You look at some of the, again, if they win it, does it really matter? Not really. One bit of confidence for Arsenal is that it is in their hands, and I'm going to ask you the question. I'm not asking the question because it's a lazy question. But as an Arsenal fan, how would you feel about Mikel Arteta if you get to the end of the season and you don't win the Premier League? Because, we're talking about everyone's turning the emphasis on Man City's going to Arsenal bottling it, but at the end of the day, it's Arsenal's to lose now. As long as Arsenal beat Man City, they've got a better goal difference, and they've beaten the team that's they're chasing them, and that's one of Man City's games in hand. So, if you do lose the Premier League title to Man City, what is the talk about Mikel Arteta from an Arsenal fan base point of view?
Well, I think questions will definitely be asked for sure. I think a lot of Arsenal fans are asking for Fabregas to come in if Arteta doesn't get us a title, that'd be the Premier League or the Champions League. And all I would say is that I think questions will have to be asked. I mean, he has done very well for Arsenal to get us to this place. I think that's the thing, is that he's taken an Arsenal that weren't doing very well at all, and got them back to, you know, second in 3 years. You know, that's pretty good. I mean, but then it's just the titles that are very much expected to come, and it is definitely squeaky bum time at the moment.
Why for Arsenal? That one's even going to be a question I was going to ask you, but why is the emphasis on Arsenal or Arteta to keep saying, right, I've progressed 3 years ago? Because I've seen it a lot. 4 years we've been progressing. 4 years we've been progressing. Whereas teams like Chelsea, who didn't win the league for very long, Conte come in and won the league. You know, just got the job done. You know, Klopp, you know, to say the same, got the job done in 2020, and that wasn't 4 years, so he won the league title quicker. I can't think of them all, but you could say the same for a lot of teams who have won the league. Why is it with Arsenal? What I'm saying is it putting pressure on Arsenal because, like, oh my God, now it's been 4 years, we've got to win something? Do you know what I'm trying to say? Whereas if they let Arteta do his thing and do his thing, plays the way Arteta wants to play.
Are you thinking that?
I'm thinking maybe this 4 years. Because every year it's like, oh, 3 years.
Really, really saying.
Yeah. So like,
years, then that means to sort of.
So, man, look at Pep Guardiola. Didn't win it in his first year, but won it in his second year. And that was a big project. You know, he didn't have the players he hasn't. He had when he won those titles. So why is it with Arsenal? Are fans putting that pressure on Arsenal, saying, right, now it's the 3rd year, now it's the 4th year, we've got so much better? Is that putting pressure on Arsenal finally getting second? Because now the jokes are Arsenal always finishes there. Is it stopping Arsenal getting the top prize? Because now the jokes are just going to continually be Arsenal second.
Well, I mean, I think in terms of the squad and the players, I think it must be affecting them somehow. I mean, they obviously, I guess they don't look at sort of all the noise and the sort of socials and social media, that sort of thing. But at the end of the day, I think they can't totally escape from it. I mean, that's all that the pundits are saying, isn't it? That like it's the mentality of the players that sort of it's that fear of losing, you know. But I mean,
Yeah, okay.
I mean, like, it's difficult for me to say, isn't it? I mean, for me to have an answer on that is like a bit like.
You're an Arsenal fan who obviously follows all the channels, and I just think there's a big thing. So next year, let's say Arteta stays, it's rather he's got us this place in 5 years. You know, it's a continual denial that, listen, we just want to go win the league now. The owners have spent the money. You've got a player in every other position. You know, what is it? what is
Well,
it?
I mean,
It's get the manager out.
I mean, there's one, so there's that. But then we both been speaking on the pod for like quite a while now about the fact that we both think that it's bad that clubs they basically like sack managers too early and that sort of stuff. So now you're saying, sort of, why is it that they've kept him on for so long? So that's what
I'm trying to say.
Like, it's very difficult to
sort
of know sort of like what is the right sort of way to go, because you can't see it into the future. But I do think that you can clearly see that Arteta has created a good culture at Arsenal and has helped them to do well, but it's just that sort of next level that just hasn't quite been there. I mean, I think that's because they're playing against Man City and Liverpool, who Man City are not the team that they were, but they're still okay, and Liverpool were much better than what they are now. So I think we were competing against teams who were very, very good. So that obviously means that it's more difficult to go and win.
I think it's a bit of that kind of. It would be the same if Liverpool got Gerrard, or it when Frank Lampard first went to Chelsea. I think it's when you have a player who's been an ex-player who comes in, and he has a lot of personality, Arteta, and I think he's slowly getting on the fans' nerves with some of their personality. You know, I understand why people might see it as a constructive thing with the light bulb, and now I keep bringing it up because I, as an outsider, think it's ridiculous, but Arsenal fans think it's great. But I have, because Arsenal are everywhere at the moment on the socials, you do see some of them saying, "What, you know, that's it." Sorry, so there's a big thing at the moment from, you know, the thing you have on Sky Sports with the overlap. They have a segment where they get the fans in as well, one main fan.
Yeah.
And that's what they're saying as well. They're kind of grouping the community, and they're saying, like, why is Arteta? What was it like? He sent not Ethan sent an email out, but about bringing the lunch and bringing the dinner, and it's just getting the pens, and even the fans now like, let's just win the bloody league. Let's just kill games off. Let's just attack. Why are we doing all this theatrical stuff so it looks good on like Netflix in 10 years' time? And that's what I'm trying to say. Is his personality at the end of the season affecting his experience?
I'm not sure if he's doing it for like a Netflix show. I mean,
no. But what I'm saying is I think sometimes he likes the sound of his own voice, and I think.
I don't think so.
You wouldn't think so, but overall,
I think he's just trying to think outside the box.
They are saying, Arsenal fans are saying, let's just go out there and win, because now it's just another distraction. Because fans are saying we've turned up. He's sending these ridiculous stuff out saying bring your lunch, bring your dinner. This isn't me saying it. Like I have seen that as well. I didn't even know that was a thing. I'll be honest with you. I didn't even know that was an email that went out. But you read the reaction, and the reaction is what everybody else thinks. You're 6 games away from winning the league. Your first league title in 20 odd years. Let's just go out there and let's just get it done. Like, the fans are turning up.
Yeah, so I know what you're on about because I watched the Gary Neville podcast, and he spoke about it. And he was saying basically that he thinks that that's stuff that they should do in private, and so the media don't see it because now what's happened is that fans and everyone's talking about it and that sort of thing. But I don't really think that's a thing. I think Arteta is just trying to do the best that he can to try and motivate the players, and that's all I can see in that, really. And anything else that's made out of it is just sort of like assumption, and people and fans of other teams who are just trying to sort of like unsettle Arsenal, really. So I would just say to the players, just ignore that, because it's all crap and rubbish.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. He could say to the players, ignore that, but he's creating it. Like, You know, you talk about behind.
Well, yeah, but he didn't mean for that to go to that level. I mean, so like, I get now why like Gary Neville said that. Like, I do get it now.
I've never known a manager.
But like hindsight is like a beautiful thing, isn't it? And like you can't know that something's going to suddenly blow up, can you? I mean,
but when you're talking about experience, would you see Pep doing that? You know, would you see Pep doing that? You wouldn't. Would you see would you see Sir Alex Ferguson doing that? You wouldn't. And that's what I'm trying to say. You're talking about, I don't know what, you know, I'm hoping Arteta's got a good game plan. You don't know with him because from an outsider, it does sound like he likes the sound of his own voice. It's a bit like, and it just needs to get the job done.
Why are you saying that? So, like, where have you seen evidence of he just likes to talk and likes to sort of like just try and be the big man and have attention?
I've never seen the evidence. I saw the evidence. He sent an email.
Where have you seen that? Where?
I've never seen it. We're talking about it now, about his little email about asking the fans to bring a bloody picnic to the stadium with him.
Well, yeah, but that's just trying to get people like just like riled up, you know. Like, I mean, that's
what I'm saying. You're not looking at the point. Over Arsenal, for this isn't me, Tom. You're fighting against your own fans here. Arsenal fans, AFC TV, the fan who goes on the overlap show where they go, and the ones on Talk Sport are all saying the same thing. It looks ridiculous now because we've lost. But you wouldn't see top managers doing. That's what I'm trying to say to you. This ain't me saying this. So your evidence is your own fan base. That's what I'm asking you. I'm asking you.
I don't think it's a big deal. No, that's it. End of. Yeah.
Okay. Brilliant. But it's become a big deal because it's put more pressure on his own team. So you know.
Well, yeah, but like I've clearly told you that what I think is that the.
You don't need to tell me. I'm not the one who's bringing
I
this
don't really think that. Well, like, I mean, that clearly wasn't the intention, and it's just like a sort of thing that, like, it's bonding stuff, isn't it? To like try and bond and team building and that sort of stuff. That like everyone does that. So like, I don't see how it's different from what. Like, the only difference is that he's done it in front of like it's like a camera that has gone to the training ground.
Camera, he's done this in front of all the fans. The fans are saying, "What the friggin' hell is this? Like, let's just get the job done." It's not.
I agree with like getting the job done, yeah, but like I don't think that would really destroy that sort of Arsenal's title, really.
A good example, yeah. Okay, I think we spent too long on this, but yeah, yeah, okay. Anyway, you got some fights to pick with your own fans, all right. So moving on to the pressure. Let's call this the pressure. The pressure of Manchester City playing against Chelsea at Chelsea. I've just realised I said Arsenal lost against Bournemouth away from home. They actually played at home, so
they were, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why I said that. Anyway, Man City played Chelsea at Chelsea's ground, Stamford Bridge, and Chelsea, for much of the first half, kind of kept Man City out. Pep Guardiola waves his magic wand, and all of a sudden, Man City come out a completely different team.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'd love to be a fly on the wall in that, even that dressing room, wouldn't you? Just to see what it is that he says or does to the players that gets them to.
You could argue and say this is the worst
crazy
team under Pep Guardiola. You could argue and say this is the worst Manchester City team under Pep Guardiola. And this is where it's kind of his experience must show behind closed doors, because what did he say to that team to get them out? And absolutely, Chelsea played good most of the game. Chelsea did really play good, and Cucurella got forward quite a lot. They did worry Man City a little bit in the first half because they were quite relentless. Being at home, that might help, but Man City come out and just made Chelsea look like a completely different team that second half. Is the title race, Tom? That's the main question. Is the title race firmly back on? Because people could say before it's a bit of a hope. Is it back on now? I mean, it's exciting, but Do we want to see Man City win it again? Not really.
Well, yeah. So the title race is back on. Yeah, for sure it is, because Arsenal facing Man City next Sunday, and that's going to be a mega game to watch. But yeah. So we're 6 points clear now, aren't we?
6 points clear with a better goal difference.
Yeah. But then they still got a game in hand, haven't they? I think
they've got a game in hand.
Yeah. So if they win that game, then that means that that if they win all their games and also win all their games, then I think we'll be on even points, won't we? I think
it'll be on even points, but I think
but then goal difference. But
Arsenal have 3 extra goals, 3 extra goals in front.
And so that would just be absolutely crazy, like if that was actually the end result. So that'd be very, very exciting if it would be a nail-biting and absolutely nerve-wracking, just all of the above emotions, but I just all through the last 6-7 games.
Did you read what Guardiola said? I thought it was very classic Guardiola mind games. I think it was on BBC Reporter. He said, they said, "Is the title race back on?" And he turned around and said, "Yes." But if we lose against Arsenal, no. Like, there's still a little bit of hope. There's still quite a few games to go, but it's like basically saying, right, it's a bit of mind games, isn't it? Normally, a manager would say, "Of course he's back on," but he's like, he made a point to say, "Well, if we lose against Arsenal, then no, he doesn't." Not minding that there's another game in hand, and he'd still only be 3 points behind.
Yeah, I mean, he's known for doing that, isn't he? But again, I think Arsenal just need to focus on what they do best. They just need to focus on how they're playing. They need to get better. I mean, I don't know what's happening with our injuries. I mean, because Odegaard was playing against Sporting and he played okay to sort of well, I thought, and then he's off for this whole game against Bournemouth, and then Saka's still off. So so that is really like. So that isn't like an excuse, I'm saying. I mean, that's a reason, and like it's a fact, isn't it? And yes, all teams have injuries, but we're talking about Arsenal here, aren't we? And
Man City, we moved on from Arsenal about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, but but we are talking about the actual title race. So that's Arsenal, Man City, isn't it? So I can speak about Arsenal.
Well, yeah.
So so it's frustrating, but there it is. Hopefully, Odegaard's back for that Man City game, and hopefully Saka is as well. But who knows if they will be or not. I've just had a thing come up on my screen here. I'll turn that off. So yeah, but the top. What the fuck are you doing? Eating in the middle of a fucking podcast.
The viewers can't see that until I talk, so it's fine. So obviously Chelsea. Let's not talk about the whole game, because obviously this new pod, everybody, is about just getting down to the nitty-gritty things. You've already seen what we've done, what the review is, and myself and Tom will be doing little TikToks here and there, just do a brief overview of the game, so you don't get bored on this podcast. Not that you would do, but anyway. But let's just talk about Man City getting that. Let's talk about that third goal, where Doku and the 3 Manchester City players just continues, even though they're 2-0 up. You could argue to say that they're looking at the goal difference and they want to get as many goals as possible. But Sanchez rolls the ball out, which everybody and myself thinks that's not a bad ball to roll out. Caicedo, as captain, really, let's get that ball moving, because Man City have had the ball continuously. He tries to sit on the ball. 3 players just hunt him down like he's prey. Doku gets the ball, sprints down, and obviously the worst goalkeeper in the world could not save that shot. Sanchez just let it, fly past him. Surprisingly, Haaland didn't score. But it was. overall, the game against Chelsea, how would Arsenal react? Will Arsenal look at that and think, right, what did Chelsea do wrong in that game, which we could do right for this, the whole of the game, not just the half? Because obviously Arteta's got a plan now about how does he not let what happened in the League Cup, affect the players, but also enable Manchester to find their weakness. But he's got an opportunity to look at what Chelsea did wrong against Man City, and you could argue to say let's try and get a win at least, a draw at least, rather than playing the way that they did in the League Cup and lost 2-0.
I mean, I think that he needs to go for a win. That's what I really think that he needs to change to try and have the attitude of going to win. But it's like I said earlier. I think the manager can only do so much. The players have to really take it on their shoulders, take the responsibility on, do something in the game, create, have the pace, have the energy. If you're on the wings, run and do a first-time crossing instead of going and then having their fullback on you, and then you're just doing a bit of cat and mouse and that sort of stuff, and then you're recycling back into the midfield. I'm sick of that now. I'm really, really sick of that recycling back and forth, back and forth. There were some games when, I thought, that is a bit of a good tactic because eventually they will slip up and that will come through and they'll create something from doing that. But I do think because we've lost the past 3 games in 4, that as you said, the teams are starting to really sort of understand how Arsenal play and how to stop Arsenal playing that way. And so we need to now try and do something different. That's what I think Arsenal need to do. Come out for the win.
Perfect. Good motivation. We need you in that changing room before the match.
Well, they do, yeah. I mean, I'll be much better than that.
I mean, if yeah. Anyway, like you say, it'll be good. It'll be good for the Premier League. Good for Arsenal. If Arsenal won, so it wouldn't be the same old Manchester City. Anyway, let's go. Let's move on a little bit to Liverpool. Liverpool I noticed the other day on the league table it now says 5 teams for the Champions League. I don't know where that's come from. Maybe I've missed it. It happened last year due to the fair play initiative, where the Premier League's number 1 and the point system across Europe, so they get an extra place. So that must be the same this year. So obviously Liverpool are chasing Champions League. That's the non-negotiable this season, Champions League qualification. And obviously they won at the weekend with 2 very good goals. One coming from a young lad, Ingamoa, who scored a beautiful finish from the edge of the box. Completely different type of player than he was at the beginning of the season when he was quite young and naive. Yes, he got a couple of goals, especially against Newcastle. But this was his first goal at Anfield. So obviously he becomes one of the youngest scorers. And obviously Salah, you go from one end of the spectrum of a young winger coming through to an outgoing one, which is Mohamed Salah, who got his goal as well. I thought to myself, it's a little bit. I said to you, Tom, should we bring this up because it's a bit. You know what's going to happen next week? Liverpool will lose, and then the sort will be back on Liverpool again about why slot's so bad. They're so inconsistent at the moment. And I don't know if you watched much of the game, but the possession stats were very similar. There wasn't much to pick out. I think Liverpool got a little bit more possession. Shots very similar, 18 to 19. And shots on target was the same. So it was basically more about clinical finishing from Liverpool. I don't know. Do you see them getting a Champions League spot this year, or do you think teams, Aston Villa, a very good example, who are chasing, and keeping the pressure on. Chelsea doing very poorly, let's be honest. But again, we've seen worse things. But Brentford as well. Brentford are hanging on to and Brentford and Everton as well.
Exactly. I mean,
it's a non-negotiable though, isn't it? I'm sure if Liverpool don't get Champions League, sort of have to leave looking at the table as it is now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I get you saying that, but you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams, and they're all within 3, 4 points of that place in the table. So you've got a hell of a lot of competition sort of after you guys, Craig, to actually sort of unseat Liverpool from 5th place in the table. So you must be squeaky bum time for you too.
How far do you reckon Liverpool can go? Because I'm looking at the table now as we're talking. They're on 52 points. Manchester United, who, as we're talking live right now, are losing 2-0 to Leeds, which obviously affects them. Obviously, it's half time in that game. But they're on 55. Aston Villa on 55 and Liverpool on 52. Liverpool have got a pretty decent goal difference as well, with 10 goals to Man United's 11. If Man United let more goals, then obviously it would drop more. Would it be? Let's be honest. I didn't even know Liverpool was still in that position now. To be fair, I thought they were further down. They could potentially finish third this season after how poor it's been. I think if they finish third, though, I don't think that's a true reflection of the season. The season's been a lot worse than third, and maybe that's the story of a poor league this year. For the teams that are chasing Champions League qualification. Because Manchester United started the season not the greatest. They were having good performance, but they didn't have great performances. Where do you think Liverpool can finish this year? How far can they go? How far can the slot train take them?
I don't think they'll finish above 5th.
Brilliant analysis. So we move on.
Yeah.
And why is that, Tom? Why?
Well, because I said before that there's 5 or 6 teams who are absolutely gunning for 5th place. Are you thinking that with your team that you're going to manage to sort of keep on winning every game until the end of the season?
I haven't said that. I'm asking you the question. I'm asking you why are you so argumentative tonight? I'm saying to you, how far can Liverpool go? I'm saying if they have a good run and they could potentially finish third, and that would be not a true reflection of the season. I'm saying it would be really, the season's been a lot worse than that. I'm hoping you would agree with that. I don't know. You're just very quiet. I'm trying to pull stuff out of you. Give the viewers something, Tom. Give your analysis. Come on.
Well, I mean, I have given my analysis. Is that I think the teams behind. So there's Chelsea, Brentford, Everton, who are all within 4 points behind you. So I think. And Liverpool haven't been particularly good this season.
I agree with
that. Man United and Man City, Arsenal, I think are all going to going to keep on winning. So,
what I'm saying is teams below them obviously are teams very much at Liverpool's level now, where they win a few games, they lose a few games. They win a few games, they lose a few games. So are you saying then, you're saying Liverpool won't win every game? Fair enough, I don't think they will. Were you saying Brentford, Everton and Brighton will, even though they got less wins than Liverpool this year? That's your point. So Liverpool won't do it, but the rest of the teams are gonna just continue to win to the end of the season.
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, it's good that we don't pay for this podcast because we'd be giving gold away for free. This is
my prediction, and then that's my crystal ball prediction.
We are literally giving you gold for free with this podcast because this is unbelievable podcasting. I think Brentford will win the next 6 games 3-0. I think Everton will win the next 6 games 3-0. I think Brown won the next 6 games 7-0. Yeah, but Liverpool won't. So, Manchester United are having a fantastic, cracking season, aren't they? It'd be good to see Aston Villa staying up there. But I tell you what, let's talk about Everton. I mean, Everton were on the brink of Everton were in Spurs' shoes last season and a couple of seasons ago. And then they're sitting 8th in the league, quite quietly as well. Like, they aren't making a big fuss about it. They aren't asking the fans to bring a picnic, and they're sitting like they're very, very close to European qualification, but Champions League qualification. And guess who they've got next in the league, Tom?
Who's that?
Everton. Liverpool.
What? What are you saying? Everton or Liverpool?
Everton have got Liverpool next in the league on Sunday.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So
I think Everton will go and win that. Yeah.
I mean, it is at home.
Yeah, it is at home. That's a derby, isn't it? So
yeah. I mean, that'd be a bloody good win for Everton if they win, because I tell you what, that would spice things up for European qualification as well.
Yeah.
Everton win that game, they would go to 50 points. That would only be 2 points beyond Liverpool then. Yeah. That is absolutely crazy. But then they've got Man City after that, so they can come back down to earth a little bit. And then they've got Spurs on the last game of the season, Everton have. Which is good stuff. So, I'm struggling to pull anything out, obviously. Let me move on. Everton. Oh, Everton, yeah. Oh, my God. Aston Villa won again this weekend. Newcastle had a tight contest, but Man United, as we're talking right now, are losing 2-0 to Leeds, which is a little bit of they go a long way back. But that fixture does. It's a very feisty fixture. So obviously Newcastle lost Crystal Palace again. So what is this feature, Tom, you want to bring up? Let's bring a new feature into this. So Tom's got a feature he briefed to, which I think it could be a niche, could be something new. Who gets 10 million views? Get me some money, Tom. What have you got in store for us?
Yeah, so I was watching the Sporting v Arsenal game last week, and it was at Sporting's home ground, and Alan Shearer was one of the commentators in the game, and there was one particular comment that he made as part of the commentary that was it was Arsenal would do very well if they could keep to a draw. And at the time, I was in my Arsenal shirt and hyped up for the Arsenal game, and hyped up for them to win.
Was this before the game? Sorry.
This was during the game.
During the game, and
yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
This was during the game when it was still 0-0, and so he goes, Arsenal would do very well to keep it to a draw. And at the time, I was sort of hyped up, and I was watching the game, and I was thinking that is absolutely not how you should be thinking of, like, just like it was an Arsenal fan. You should be wanting to win, and so I just didn't understand why he made that comment. So my feature was to see what viewers think about that comment. If you let us know, viewers, as to what you think about the Alan Shearer comment during the Sporting v Arsenal game.
So let's move on to the final feature of this podcast, which is the Player of the Week and the Howler of the Week. I went first last week, Tom, so I think it's only right that you go first this week. Who are your 2 picks for this weekend?
Well, for Player of the Week, it'll be Cherky. I think just the way that he runs up and then he uses his left foot to just pass through. And then Gahey got it, and then he scored that goal. I think just that touch is just like one of those wonder touches that it's just beautiful to see. Because he almost fools the players in like thinking that he's going right up to like the right side of the pitch, but actually he just does a quick sort of left foot dink on the outside of his left foot. So that's my player of the week. I mean, I think he's fantastic anyway, but I think he did really well then. Then Howler of the week. I mean, can we have joint howlers?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it. There's no
joint howler for me. Yeah, so joint howlers for me have to be, because this is the goal that put the Arsenal game to bed in a bad way, was Scott. And I think the two players that were ultimately responsible for not stopping the final ball were Zubimendi and Saliba.
Yeah, I was going to say.
And they were both sort of caught off guard and not doing what they were supposed to be doing. I mean, I think overall, I think we defended fairly well, but I think it's just because we didn't manage to get a goal up front that made that goal just the punisher, really.
Yeah, I was so for my howl of the week, I was going to say Saliba, because it was the hesitation within that moment that I just thought, for the title race, those moments are the ones that you need to get you over the line, because obviously your best form of defense is attacking, vice versa. Another contender for me was Sanchez. Thought he had a difficult game against Manchester City, but he has a difficult game against anybody. He's just a poor goalkeeper. The only team he did look good against was Bloody Port Vale, a League One team who's looking destined to League Two. But my player of the week, I was going to say Scott, but that's too obvious. I like Doku. I think, yes, he hasn't got the numbers and goals, but he's just he's an exciting player. What he can do on the ball when he dances around on the ball is just something else. Yes, it can be frustrating as a Man City fan. Sometimes you're like, pass the bloody ball. But other times, he was outstanding against Chelsea. I just thought he's a fantastic player. Yeah, so yeah, that is mine. I was going to say Szoboszlai, but he's been a bit rowdy with his own fans, hasn't he? Recently, so he doesn't deserve it. That's what I'm trying to say. He doesn't deserve it.
Mm.
So let's bring the curtains closed on another episode the fourth episode of North to South podcast. No Port Vale game this weekend. Port Vale have got 7 games in 19 days now. I mean, how are they going to cope with that? I'll never know. They're playing Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. I can't. Port Vale are relegated. That's as a fan, I'm saying that. Unless the miracle they stay up. But yeah, so no Port Vale feature this week. And so, Tom, is there anything more you want to say on any of the action this week? Any last thoughts? Any last inspirational mementos for Arsenal to get a win over Manchester City?
Well, I think really for Arsenal, they should really not need more motivation than City took two titles away from them. That's all the motivation that like the players should need, right?
Yeah,
they shouldn't need any more motivation, any more of that. The rest is just quality and their time on the pitch.
No, I agree. And like you say,
so they just need to learn from the games that they've lost, learn how to do better, maybe a bit of a tactical change. But they need to let the football do the talking against Sporting, and then even more important against Manchester City next Sunday.
That'll be a feisty match. That'll be feisty. So yeah, as the running continues, every match now is just going to be really, really nail biting, and I don't know how you'll feel, Tom, from the end of the season, because it's absolutely horrible when you're trying to negotiate all those emotions. Thank you to anyone who does watch our podcasts, or any long-time listeners, or any hidden views we might not see. Thank you for listening. We'll be back next week, as always. And by then, we'll know if Man City or Arsenal are the team who look to be Premier League champions, hopefully. So thank you very much. I've been Craig and Tom.
Thank you, all the viewers, for watching and listening. And I hope you have a great week. See you next week.
See you next week. Bye. From